Hello and welcome to Sastronomical. My name is Andy, and today we're going to basically ask the question, is Airtable's brand new timeline view any good? So Airtable this week, last week of October, first week of October, last week of September 2021, released a view that I personally am very excited about and would have helped me enormously when I was working with different teams in my previous life as a dutiful employee of places. But I'm no longer an employee, so I don't need to manage people that much, and I don't really need to manage deadlines. That's because I'm a rubbish manager and I'm not very good at going, get me that by the 1st of October, please. No, I'm not very good at that, but I'm very interested in to see the progress of projects. So regardless of whether you're a hard ass manager trying to kick your team into gear or you're just curious about where a project is, I'm sure Timeline can help you. So without chatting it away, let's get into it. Here we are in our project, and you can see it's a project management base. And just so that I'm not plagiarizing, I did get this Airtable base from the Airtable universe, which is a wonderful place that I recommend you go to. And I'll put a link in the description below. If you're learning Airtable, it's super useful. So here we are in the project management base. Like I said, that was created by Airtable for the Airtable universe. We can see all of our tasks. So we've got our tasks and they're sorted by color, you can see. So we've got planned, up next, in progress, ready for review. And this is good, right? Previously, this is all we had with Airtable, and that was fine. I was happy with it, you were happy with it, and we're all fine with it. Really, we probably, if I were to consult on this, I would normally say to my client, maybe use Calendar View or even Gantt View more recently. But with Timeline View, you get this flexible way for all of your teams to kind of manage their statuses, their information over time, as this name of the view Timeline suggests. And we can actually group these records, right? If we wanted to group them by planned or up next, we can do that neatly in a really neat way on a horizontal timeline. So with Timeline View, you can actually just check your team members' workload, schedule content to run at a specific time, color code or data based on importance, and loads more things that we'll get to as we progress. So I think the best thing to do is start to configure it and just kind of work our way through it. Okay, so we can see here, we've got projects on the left-hand side. So there are 4 different projects that run in tandem: venue, speaker program, social media, marketing campaign, and sponsorship package. And these are the different groups. These are different swim lanes, I think we can call it, that we want to manage. And you can see each of these different swim lanes has got a different person or different people as part of the team. Now, a project is now then mapped to tasks, so we can actually see all of these individual tasks that need to be completed. Now we can go to the task space, and actually we can see like we saw before, we can see all of the tasks grouped as by color, and that's useful, right? And like I said, I might suggest using the calendar view for due dates if this were 4 months ago. But it's not 4 months ago. We can actually use the timeline view. So obviously I need to caveat that this is only available on Pro plans and above. So just be aware of that. I don't want to be a salesperson, but I will say that I spend a very kind of reasonable amount a month to get the Pro plan on Airtable, and it's so worth it. The amount of value you get from Airtable is incredible. I can't tell you how much I love Airtable. Maybe if that's not apparent, I love Airtable. It's so good. Right, so moving on, I'm going to create a timeline view. So as you can see, I'm down in the bottom left and we've got timeline. So I'm going to click that, and we can now start to create our view. So the first thing we might want to do is use the date field. And I would say my recommendation, well, in this case, we've got start date and due date to choose from. I would say due date's a better measure of what we're looking for in the timeline view in this case. And we can actually group by the project, right? And basically, by grouping by the project, we can see on the left hand side, we've got those 4 projects. We've got the speaker program, the venue, the sponsorship package, and all the rest of it. But not only can we group by those, we can actually do a subgroup as well. So we can actually pick another field to group by, which I think we should do in the interest of time and just showing you what's possible. There's no point in coming back to it. So I'm also going to group by status. So we've got status, and then we've got project. Now, does that look okay? Or should we, if we wanted to change these around, we can obviously move this up, and then we can actually see, okay, so if we're grouping by status, we can actually see the project on the left. I think project is a better parent than status, so I'm going to go with that and click next. So then we can actually customize the labels. So these are the fields that we actually want to see on the record in the timeline. So we can say start date, due date. We can actually maybe add an attachment, and well, we don't need the status, but we can have owner. So those are good ones to have. Click. Okay, great. Now, when we're here, what's awesome is we can collapse these. And first of all, if I'm looking at speaker program, we can see, okay, great. There's nothing coming up for the speaker program. Is there anything coming up for marketing campaigns? Not right now. But if we scroll to the right, we can see actually the first marketing campaign is going to be on the 9th of December. And we can click on that. We can see who owns it. We can attach a file and do all of the things that we normally would want to do in Airtable. I think this is really useful for marketing calendars, allowing marketing teams to basically be able to schedule individual pieces of content to run on specific days, or to have their visualization of how their project's laid out is going to be super important to them. I think, according to Airtable, and as well as my own opinion, I think other teams or the other types of projects this would be really useful for is anything to do with project management or product roadmaps, or really just managing multiple resources or managing any kind of complexity, particularly with operations. So I think what's clear is that just even having that ability to scroll right through is so useful compared to, for example, with the Gantt view. Gantt view takes like a very targeted targeted approach and zones in on a specific snapshot of a project, where this really feels natural and quite elegant, in my opinion. So using it, I feel very comfortable using it already, and that's the beauty of Airtable, in my opinion, is that all of their projects, all of their UX and UI immediately helps you feel comfortable with it. You don't need to get acquainted with it too much. You know your data, and if you know your data, applying a view to that is always going to be super easy in Airtable. At least up until now, they just know how to make a product, and it's wonderful. I'm here and I know what's planned, I know what's up next, and you can see again. So if we actually kind of scroll that, we can hide what's up next, right, if we wanted to. So just by clicking this triangle, we can see then what's in progress. What's also really cool, and I'm sure you don't need me to tell you this because it's Airtable, if I wanted to move this across different stages, I can, right? So if I wanted to make this up next, you can see it immediately becomes purple because it's in up next. And if I move it to planned, it becomes blue because it's in planned. Or if I want to change the due date to the Saturday, I can move it, and that automatically updates your data. I'm sure you're already aware of that, or you already figured that would happen, but it's just so elegant. And I mean, what's not to love? And if you wanted to move this across projects, again, you can do that right now if you wanted to. So that if one piece of content became more relevant for the speaker program or the venue, you can absolutely just move these across projects, move these across statuses or dates. and you've got everything ready there for you. And obviously you can then create automations based on all of these different changes. For example, let's say something's due on the 9th of December, and we move it to the Friday the 10th of December. We could create an automation that just says, when we move this, or when we update the date, send a notification to the owner, or something like that. It's just, for me, this is a huge step forward with Airtable and the types of views that we can create. And I'm just looking forward to seeing more, truly. So well done, Airtable. Again, I doff my hat to you. And I just can't wait to use it myself. Very much like all the other views in Airtable. It's just the perfect product. And that's about all I got to say. So I hope that was useful. I think I've gushed enough. So thank you for watching. If you've watched this far, well done. Good. I mean, you've put up with more of me than I can. I guess I've only got a few updates. This is the last video I'll be creating in this tiny little room. And the reason being is because I'm moving. So I'm moving flat, which is very exciting. That's it. I actually created this whole room just so that I could show you this. And then that's going to go away very soon. So nobody ever got to see it turn on. I'm going to turn it on just for the old time's sake, because it might not see the light of day in the new flat. So bear with me. So for the very first, and maybe the last, who knows, time we'll ever see this astronomical neon light. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Look at that. It's a thing of beauty, isn't it? I spent far too much time thinking about that. It was pretty much the only reason why I decided to buy a flat of my own. So I'm glad I got to show you it all. Exclusively paired to this Airtable preview video. Well, thanks for watching, and have a great day. You're great. I'm done. Goodbye. Go away. Shoo. That's it. It's over. Are you still there?